Let's say, for example, you're sitting on the couch watching TV with your girlfriend and you hear a loud noise outside. What's interesting about emotions is that they're highly contagious. In my consultations, I see a lot of couples that are in this kind of emotional tailspin. You have an opportunity to be an emotional leader for those around you. Let's say you're a parent and you walk into your kid's room and you see two of your children fighting over a toy. Emotional intelligence is the ability to be self-aware of your own emotions and to have empathy and to be able to observe and correctly label the emotions of those around you. Emotional leadership is to be able to use your emotional intelligence to set an emotional tone for those around you. Hello and welcome to another exciting episode of the Good Problems Podcast. I'm your host, David Nima. I'm a lawyer by trade and a happiness coach. And in today's episode, we are going to discuss emotional leadership and emotional intelligence. Now, emotions run high in almost every relationship, particularly in relationships such as parent-child, romantic partners, business colleagues, or employer and employee relationships. Even soldiers on a battlefield exchange emotions, and even our pets pick up on our cues when it comes to emotions. Now, what is highly beneficial is for you to understand the nature of emotional intelligence and being an emotional leader in various circumstances. So what is emotional leadership and what is emotional intelligence? Emotional intelligence is the ability to be self-aware of your own emotions and to have empathy and to be able to observe and correctly label the emotions of those around you. Emotional leadership is to be able to use your emotional intelligence to set an emotional tone for those around you. And ultimately, what you want to do is help those around you reduce stress, which can increase your happiness. What's interesting about emotions is that they're highly contagious. When someone around us feels happy, we feel happy. When someone around us feels sad, we feel sad. When someone around us feels stressed, we feel stressed. And when someone around us is calm, we are by nature starting to feel calm. So emotions are contagious, and not just by being in the same room or in the same physical space, but you can actually pick up on emotional cues by watching someone else feeling a certain emotion through a photograph or a video. When we take on the role as an emotional leader, we're able to kind of manage our own emotions and help those around us feel less stress and ultimately feel more happiness. So how can you be an emotional leader in your relationships? Let's consider a couple of examples. Let's say, for example, you're sitting on the couch watching TV with your girlfriend and you hear a loud noise outside. You have a couple of options, right? One option is to kind of react, kind of a knee-jerk reaction, feel scared and be like, oh my God, what is that, right? And just kind of induce this kind of fear and emotion, this emotion of fear, and otherwise kind of be in a state of panic and stress. Your other option is to calmly look out the window and investigate the source of that noise. And whoever's around you is very likely to pick up on your emotional cues. In another example, let's say you're a parent and you walk into your kid's room and you see two of your children fighting over a toy, for example. You can either kind of yell at them and kind of add to the commotion and say, what are you guys doing? Why don't you guys stop fighting? Or you can calmly walk in there and kind of investigate the nature of the fight, allow each of the children to kind of state their case and help kind of mediate between the children, right? And this has a tremendous impact on the emotional tone of all of you as you're sitting in that room. In another example, you might be in physical danger. Let's say you're on a sinking boat, for example, or you're in a place where a fire alarm is going off and you smell smoke, right? You have a couple of options. You can panic and you can stress, and that's probably going to lead you to not make the most rational decision. On the other hand, you can stay calm and you can follow the protocols, whether it's looking for life jackets on a sinking boat or looking for the nearest exit in the event of a fire. How you react and the decisions you make under your emotional state can have life-changing consequences in the event of physical danger. For example, I recall in 2009, there was a flight in New York that was hit by bird strikes, and the birds kind of caused the engines to malfunction. And the captain of that flight, I believe his name is Sully, or Captain Sully Sullenberger, he stayed calm. He stayed calm. He spoke with the control tower. He realized that he didn't have enough time or enough elevation to reach a landing strip, and he chose to land the plane on the Hudson River, and he safely landed the plane, and all the passengers survived. If that captain, went into a panic mode and caused the passengers to panic, the results could have been much more disastrous. Now, the same kind of emotional intelligence and emotional leadership is often displayed by military leaders in battlefield. You have bullets flying over your head, you got bombs going off around you, and your ability to kind of stay calm and kind of maintain protocol and help your soldiers stay calm and maintain protocol can have life-changing decisions. Now, most of us are not going to be flying a plane, and most of us are not going to be in a battlefield with bombs going off around us. But in your everyday, ordinary life, you have an opportunity to be an emotional leader for those around you. For example, with me and my dog, sometimes my dog hears a noise outside, and he instantly looks to me to see how I'm reacting to the noise. And usually what I say is, it's going to be okay. Everything is okay. Everything is fine. And my dog is then fine. On the other hand, if my dog is barking at something and I walk up to him and I say, "What are you doing?" and start kind of adding to that commotion, my dog is going to kind of react to that and kind of continue to bark. So being an emotional leader, particularly with pets, is a tremendously good example of emotional leadership and being in touch with your own emotions and to be able to kind of control or lead the emotions of those around you. Ultimately, the goal of emotional leadership is to reduce stress in periods where there's in stressful environments, and the ability to kind of stay calm so that you can follow protocol and lead to a state of calmness, and otherwise you just want to reduce stress. In my consultations, I see a lot of couples that are in this kind of emotional tailspin, right? They're kind of feeding off each other when they're feeling angry or they have fear or they have despair. And I advise my clients, when I'm providing coaching for them, to be an emotional leader. Things are going to be okay. As I discuss in the book, Good Problems to Have, all of your problems are good problems to have, and you have an opportunity to be happy. You have an opportunity to choose to be happy at all times. And this is particularly important whenever there's kind of a surprise event or something that might cause you to get into a state of fear and emotional distress. And you can kind of choose to be an emotional leader for those around you and yourself, and to be able to investigate the cause of the stress in a rational way. So I hope this is something that'll help you practice more control of your own emotions, better observe your own emotions, and be self-aware of your emotions, and also be aware of the emotions of those around you through compassion and empathy. And ultimately, be able to help those around you be in a state of calmness no matter what is happening around you, and ultimately to reduce stress and lead to more happiness. This is David Nima, life coach and author of the book, Good Problems to Have. Make sure to like and subscribe to this video if you found it useful, and I'll see you guys in the next video.